The Colorado Rockies finished the 2024 season as one of the worst teams in baseball, and today we will attempt to rebuild them back into relevancy in 2025. If you enjoy this sort of content after this video, check out my new Chicago White Sox rebuild, which was just posted yesterday, which is all part of my Rebuilding October series, where I will post a rebuild video every day across October. But that's enough jibber jabber about everyone else. Let's dive into the Rockies. With every rebuild, I like to ensure there's a goal in mind. A successful rebuild for the Chicago White Sox and the 2024 World Series winner would probably look a lot different. And thankfully for the Rockies, this roster is a lot closer to meaningful baseball than the South Side. A lot of the players, particularly on the position side, did enough in 2024 to earn another year of play. So, with that in mind, the goal should be to round out the roster whilst allowing room for top prospects to continue to earn full-time roles. However, before we can round out the roster, we must see who's leaving the team during the offseason. The first of which will be longtime Rocky Charlie Blackmon, who hit the free agent market as an unrestricted free agent. For the Rockies, it will be sad to see Chuck Natsy go, but it makes sense. The team has a ton of young outfield talent with a fourth outfielder in Jake Cave already on the roster. Go along with that, the longtime outfielder's performance has been slipping every year since 2019. It is time to let Blackmon chase a ring elsewhere. The next player's exit probably won't be as somber, as Daniel Bard is set to hit the market as an unrestricted free agent. Bard has unfortunately missed the 2024 season due to injury and struggled in his past season in 2023. Now at age 40, it seems like an unnecessary risk for a bullpen badly in need of solidified arm. The third and final player of the list is Jacob Stallings, who is possibly the most intriguing of the three. Stallings is a former Gold Glove winner who's posting an 800 OPS in 2024. With that in mind, it would seem likely he would opt out of his mutual option of $1 million. However, given his age and history as a defensive first option, it may be difficult for him to find a suitor. The Rockies would be ecstatic to have Stallings return as a backup, which is what we'll have him do for the purpose of this video. Other young players to account for the 2025 Rockies would have to start with Jordan Beck, who has just graduated from prospect status. Presumably, he would take on a full-time role in the outfield amongst Nolan Jones and Brenton Doyle. The Rockies have a pair of outfield prospects knocking on the door to the major league, the first of which is Zach Veen, who was the 9th pick in the 2020 draft, and currently sets as the team's 4th best and 94th best prospect overall in baseball. He projects best as a corner outfielder with plus speed, a good arm, and decent hit tools. The other exciting outfield prospect that the Rockies could see in 2025 would be Yanquiel Fernandez, who has some excellent raw power that can be driven to all fields, although as of late he has had some swing decision and swing and miss concerns. He projects solely as a right field option with his lack of athleticism and plus arm. With proper development, could be a middle part of the lineup bat for this Rockies lineup. Another name that could become a regular in this Rockies lineup in due time is Adele Amador, who actually spent 10 games with the Rockies earlier this season, making an aggressive jump from Double-A. He didn't look so great in that time, so he returned to Double-A and hasn't necessarily lit the world on fire there either. What Amador does offer, though, is an advanced approach with a hit over power sort of swing. He does profile more as a second baseman with power that has improved over his time in the minor leagues. And the final young potential impact player is Drew Romo, a catcher who made his debut in Colorado on August 17th. Romo offers a lot to the Rockies despite being a relatively subpar option offensively. Defensively, Romo certainly has Gold Glove level talent with a 60 grade in both fielding and arm, and his AAA this season, Romo was able to post an 838 OPS. While I wouldn't expect those sort of numbers, there are certainly more tools to work with when compared to other defensive first options in the league. Get this guy a veteran like Stallings to continue to learn from, and Romo could very well be the future for the Rockies at catcher. On the free agency side, the only true starter I plan to grab is at second base. Brendan Rodgers has yet to really prove he can be a plus hitter that we saw from him as a minor leaguer. In 2025, he will be entering his age 28 season, and with that being the last year of his arbitration, it's time for the Rockies to look elsewhere until a younger guy can take his place. In this scenario, I have the Rockies signing Jorge Polanco as their everyday second baseman. For this exercise, I really wanted to sign Brandon Lau or Gleyber Torres to the Rockies just because their bat would be really fun to watch in Colorado. However, I don't think the Rockies would be comfortable giving those players the years they would likely want on their deals. Polanco, however, offers a much cheaper option who could bounce back with a season in Coors Field. If Polanco does bounce back, that allows the Rockies another trade chip at the deadline to continue to bolster this ever-improving farm system. As for Rodgers, I wouldn't hate for him to stay on the team as a fill-in option around the infield off the bench, especially late in games when the team needs a knock. And once again, if he can perform admirably, he becomes a trade chip as well. And the final offensive piece I had the Rockies grabbing is Joey Gallo. Wow, what a fall from grace Gallo has had. But he would fill a necessary void of that backup first base corner outfield type that this team is missing, and he would have some plus potential, especially with that power in Colorado. On the pitching side, I would love to see this Rockies squad attack the bullpen, grabbing David Robertson and TJ McFarland, both of which are great pitchers at limiting walks and getting contact on the ground. The Rockies have been historically bad in the ninth inning this year, and these two pieces surely wouldn't fix the bullpen entirely, but it would at least give them a safety net towards the back end, which I'm sure would give some peace of mind to Rocky fans. And the final pitcher I had the Rockies grabbing is Charlie Morton of the Atlanta Braves. While it would appear that the renaissance that Ground Chuck has had in his mid-30s is coming to an end, that nickname still reigns true. Morton is an excellent at inducing soft contact on the ground and still gets a fair amount of strikeouts. While he most likely won't be the ace this team has been in need for years, he would be a stopgap that if he could get hot, could still get a decent haul back at the trade deadline. And for the final segment of the rebuild process, it's the trade portion. For the Rockies, there's only one real move I could see them making, and that is the move for one of their outfield prospects of Zach Veen and Yanquiel Fernandez to the Pittsburgh Pirates in exchange for Thomas Harrington or Braxton Ashcraft. While on paper it has very little immediate impact on the MLB rosters, it makes a lot of sense for each squad. The Pirates are rich in pitching prospects, are in a severe drought for positional talent, specifically in the outfield. And for the Rockies, it's the opposite. I'm not saying it would be a straight 1-for-1. Both of the Pirates guys are flourishing while the Rockies guys are having their struggles. And then to wrap things up, that leaves Drew Romo behind the dish, Toglia at first base, Polanco at second, McMahon at third, and Tovar Manning shortstop, Nolan Jones in left, Doyle in center, and Beck in right, with Chris Bryant at DH. Hopefully he can stay healthy. With a bench consisting of Joey Gallo, Jacob Stallings, Brendan Rodgers, and Jake Cave, with the starting rotation consisting of Herman Marquez, Charlie Morton, Kyle Freeland, Kyle Contral, and either Ashcraft or Harrington from that Pirates deal. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe. As I've said before, we are having a new rebuild coming out every day, so be sure to check those out. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day.